Generally speaking, in the middle of breakpoints is where your business is the most effective, the most profitable, and the most synergized. It's where you scale, optimize where you're at. Hi, I'm Brandon Dawson, business partner with Grant Cardone. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the 7 critical elements that every business needs to know to build and scale your business the right way and with the most amount of value. Now, let's get started. The first breakpoint is 0 revenue to $3 million in revenue. That's breakpoint 1. Breakpoint 2 is 3 million in revenue to 8 million in revenue. Breakpoint 3 is 8 million in revenue to 15 million in revenue. Breakpoint 4 is 15 to 25 million in revenue. Breakpoint 5 is 25 to 45 million in revenue. Breakpoint 6 is 45 to 75 million in revenue. And breakpoint 7 is 75 million to $125 million in revenue. Now, if you have the ambition to go to $1 billion in revenue, there's actually 11 breakpoints from startup to $1 billion in revenue. But I cover the 7 most common breakpoints because 98% of all businesses that are under $100 million of revenue, they're trapped under 3 million. They're literally trapped in the first breakpoint. Only 2% of businesses are greater from 3 million to 100 million in the small to mid-sized business space. It shows you how hard it is to actually build a big business. Now, what we're going to be talking about is the 97% of the businesses that fail and what to do about it. Because if you know what causes businesses to fail, you know how to make sure you don't make those mistakes. Now, right now, if you're like me and you're saying, hey, wait a minute now, I get it. Numbers don't lie. Okay? We've worked with thousands of businesses in the last 4 years, taking the concepts that work you and walk you through those breakpoints will get you to identify what breakpoint you're headed towards, what breakpoint you're in, and what to do to ensure that you can maximize your return on effort and your overall return on value. You see, what we want to do is make sure that your business does not encounter any interruptions or disruptions, especially in this economy. And most businesses, when they're small, they have friends and family, and when you start to get bigger, you lose some of that continuity. Which is why in breakpoint 2, from 3 million to 8 million in revenue, it's the who you do it with. You see, now it's not just a small circle of friends and family, it's literally people you don't know. And you need to align those people with how to do their job, how to create maximum impact, and how to work together. This is why in breakpoint 2, you're going to start process creation. Like when the phone rings, how to answer it, what to do once you answer it, what to talk about, how to answer the right questions, how to convert it into an opportunity, how to convert the opportunity into a transaction, and then how to create a customer for life after the transaction so you can do more revenue with them in the future. That, for example, is a process. It's really super easy for those employees to do things wrong if you don't have great process creation. But you also need to have developed a leadership team. Because the business has gotten so big, you as the business owner can't do everything yourself. And I'll give you a little hint here. Almost always in breakpoint 3 is where you become over-reliant on a key performer in your organization. Then that key performer starts demanding more compensation because they know they've got you in a precarious situation. And if you don't meet the needs of their compensation demands, in almost all cases that cause a breakpoint in breakpoint 3, it's that key employee leaving, taking other key employees, and taking key business with them. That leadership team that you will have had to develop by breakpoint 3 will propel you into breakpoint 4 by model, mimicking, and mastering what you've already proven works in breakpoint 1, 2, and 3. Now it's a matter of adding more people and having a more diversified leadership team that's working with them to keep them united and working together and creating value. Now, by the time you get to breakpoint 4, you're going to be running your business on 14 to 17 different technology systems, anywhere from a CRM to an in-industry Now, the implication of that is this. You're gonna have so much randomized data. And randomity is the thing that will kill you if you can't figure out how to bring that data in, isolate the most important factors of each data point, put them together, and then act operationally on the things that drive the highest value. So you're gonna have to go find somebody that can come in and help you do it. But the problem is it's not gonna be one person. It's probably gonna be 3, 4, or 5 people. You're gonna put them under the operating team or the finance team, and you're gonna ask them to do this research and come up with the most important factors that will drive value in your business. That's another person you're gonna have to bring in to make sure you manage it correctly. Now, if you sort through all that and you pop up between 25 and 45 million, the good news is by the time you work yourself through all those elements that you're gonna encounter by breakpoint 4, if you break through, you will have a management team and a leadership team that can propel you to 45 million in revenue. Now, here's another free hint. Most private equity groups, small private equity groups, start fishing around your business between breakpoint 2 and breakpoint 4. The reason for that is they realize that as you're trying to push through and grow and doing things you've never done before with a management team that's probably never done it either, private equity loves that because you added a whole bunch of cost to your infrastructure that you don't need if you're gonna stay exactly where you're at. So then what you do is you start when you get a little pressure, or you get a little shift in the market, or you have a little disruption, or you have a little blip, a little mistake, that is the feeding zone for private equity to try to buy you cheaper. Generally speaking, in the middle of breakpoints is where your business is the most effective, the most profitable, and the most synergized. It's where you scale, optimize where you're at. And if you understand that and you're thinking of selling, don't try to push through the next level. Now, let's assume you break through to the 25 to 45 million. You've got your executive team, you've got your processes and your systems down. So you're gonna have the ambition, the thought, the idea. I need to go outside my group and bring somebody in that can help me grow and scale this business to the next level. The sticker shock you're gonna get is the people that you can bring in are gonna be costing you a whole lot more money than the people you groomed up. And they're gonna have a higher expectation, like equity in the business or a higher compensation structure. And it's gonna create internal conflict. Therefore, you're only gonna hire one of those people. Or you may opt to go to a consultant and try to get guidance and advice for your team. So it's something you really need to be careful of. And this is where I teach you, the entrepreneur, how to ask the right 3 questions. Question number 1 is, what's the most amount of money you've ever made in a year? Question number 2 is, what's the biggest thing you've ever been a part of? And then the third thing is, what's the biggest exit, the highest value you've ever received when you've left the previous place you were at? Now, honestly, this all is just the tip of the iceberg. But I know that if you're a serious business owner, you're already understanding exactly how you can apply some of these elements into your business.